Thank you very much, Vito. Oh, great. Thank you. You know, it's said that a man should be judged by the company he keeps, not the company he owns. And if that's the case, I'm a very wealthy man this morning because of the people I've met while I've been here, renewed friendships from the past and made new ones. And, you know, the session material is great and the learning part, but when you come to these things and put people together, some amazing things happen. And I do a lot of training in my job, and some of it is done remotely and for reasons that we can't go everywhere, and some of it's done in person. And people will tell you things in person. You look in their eyes, they will not tell you on a conference call. They will not tell you through a webinar or whatever. So I'm very fortunate. I greatly appreciate, Vito, the hospitality and that you've shown me this week. So thank you very much. So a little bit about the International Association of Commercial Administrators. We're going to talk a little bit about exactly what we are, and our conference, which was just 2 weeks ago, and our upcoming conference next year, which is my personal invitation to you now for next May. We were incorporated as a nonprofit in the state of Louisiana in 1978, mainly because one of our original founders worked in the state of Louisiana, and IACA really started as just a loose association, really just an effort to bring people together with commonalities, dealing with business registries and that kind of thing, and it's since grown from that. So we've been around for a little while, and you know, we do the conferences, we do the nice things, we do the social events and all that stuff, but really our job is to take care of our members, take care of our sponsors, to educate them, to afford them opportunities to better themselves, therefore bettering their offices and learning. And we take that responsibility very seriously. I forgot one thing, I'm sorry. I want to recognize a couple of folks that are also IACA members. We have the lovable Axel Forsman from Germany. He is our International Relations Chair. The sometimes lovable Julian Lamb is from Jersey, is our Vice Chair, and no doubt she is lovable, Haley Clark from Nova Scotia. She's on our board. She's our first Vice President. Besides, I don't know how she does it, the working group and that and this, and also maintaining her paying jobs. They do an incredible job. And if I missed anyone from IACA, but okay. So we have membership, so members, and it's open to anyone that falls in the particular categories, general members, international members. And if you really want to get a better flavor of what it's like for an international member to attend, certainly seek out Axel or Julian or Haley, because they certainly have a great perspective on that. We have 4 sections within our group. We have the business organization, business registry, secure transactions, which I know is foreign to most folks outside the U.S., maybe Australia and Canada, which is personal property registry. IT staff that supports those 2 groups, and international relations. So when we go to the conference, we have a combination of joint sessions, and then we have usually at least one full day of where each group breaks out in their own specific section to address specific issues for that group. So we were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if you know where that is, but it's upper Midwest U.S. It's known for its beer breweries, and there was some of that going on, and there was some consumption. I can attest to that. We had 6 Canadian provinces represented, 2 federal agencies, 39 U.S. states to 50, which I think is pretty good. We're still trying to, we've kind of been stuck on that number for a couple of years, and 18 additional countries. So I believe Julian pointed this out at the IACA conference. Of the total attendance this year, about 20% of attendees were international. And he can attest to this, as can Axel. That is incredibly great considering where we were just a few short years ago. And a lot of it is to do with the work of these 2 gentlemen here. So we talked about, as you did this week, and you'll notice these bullet points, similarities from what we've talked about in the last couple of days and what we talked about in the U.S., and that's the goal. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why Tim was in Milwaukee. Vito would have been there, but he was a little bit busy planning a conference, I think. And so it's the exchange. And so we talked about the LEI. We talked about, we had updates from, Tim gave an update, and certain things like a big topic of discussion is court order removal of filings. Because as we know, the offices don't get a lot of guidance as to what to do with those things. So social media, not just, hey, just get a Twitter account, but how it can enhance the message. And I believe everyone has a message. And I think sometimes we get bogged down in our own little jobs and keep our head down, but there is a message to tell. And also the survey, which we've certainly seen this morning. We had a woman there from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, which is very interesting. Again, data sharing and sales. Did we not talk about that yesterday, right? Certifications. And then we had a roundtable. It was really fascinating. We had folks bring any real-world legal issues to the roundtable and just discuss. And some of these, there is no resolution yet. They're just now in the court system. And so I think we all learned from that. So one thing we do every year are the IACA Merit Awards. So we solicit submissions. So if you have some type of process improvement or a new product or something like that, and you're very proud of it, so you submit it. We have Haley actually oversaw that this year. We have a committee that will take those submissions. They'll judge those, and then we give an award, and we invite those jurisdictions to present about 10 minutes on it at the conference, and then they also could do a more lengthy session if they wish to do so. So you can see the winners this year. So all over the globe, we had 3 U.S. states, and Jersey, New Zealand, and Australia outside the U.S. So, all right, this coming May, I will be your humble host in Savannah, Georgia. Not know if you know where that is, but it's on the Savannah River. We're in the southeastern United States, so you can see us right there. It is a true essence of southern United States living. And I know you're going to laugh at this, because I know you don't think this is old if you're from Europe, but it's old to me. And so it was settled in 1733 by King George II. He sent a gentleman there because he was worried about losing land to the Spanish and the French. And so Tim's going to come next year and take a look at what we took back from him a few years later. Had nothing to do with it. So anyway, at this point, like I said, the week of 17 to 21, it will have information on our IACA website. It says IACA.org. You can always contact me. We're very small in my office. I don't have someone answering my phone. I don't do any of that. I mean, I answer my own phone, and when I'm stuff here, I'm sitting back there doing that. So just like a lot of you are. So if there's any questions, I'll be glad to entertain those. Otherwise, thank you very much, and thank you for the great hospitality. I've had a great week.
Thank you, Mike. Team, is your turn now.
Right, thank you, Vito. Following on from IACA, I'll give you an update on CRF, Corporate Registers Forum. And I think what you'll notice is a number of similarities. And that's one of the key things that's happened over the last, certainly for me, for the last year or so, is the linking up between the 4 organizations right the way across the world. Because at heart, we share very similar things. You know, we're about linking up this global community, and we are part of a global community. When you look at who's represented here, we have a number of continents represented, as well as obviously, you know, many states within Europe. And really, what do? Well, we share best practice. We share information, we share problems, we share issues. We look at developments, we look at what's happening, and it's all around supporting each other, gathering ideas, and improving things. And CRF is exactly about the same sort of things as that. And we have approximately 60 member jurisdictions right the way across 5 continents, from New Zealand right the way across to Canada, from Hong Kong and right the way across to Colombia and Brazil, and right the way across the world. So a truly international organization. And we are set up with an executive committee, which again, you know, absolutely reflects the continents that we cover. I said with Africa, Asia, Europe, everyone represented across that. And there are ongoing elections every year. Everyone stands for a 2-year period. And We recently held our conference, well, back in March. We were very fortunate to go to Rio. Just like Rome, a fantastic setting for a conference. The buildings weren't quite as nice, but the scenery was equally as good. As you can see, it was Copacabana Beach, was not a bad place to have a conference, although, as I said, the conference venue didn't quite match this one in terms of that, and the buildings weren't quite as old. But a great place to be. Previous years, we've been in Auckland, we've been in Delhi, we've been to Vancouver, Australia, Singapore, Cape Town, South Africa, so truly do move right the way around the world. And we had about 240 delegates from over 40 nations, 40 states across the world, and it was fantastic to be in South America for the first time, and a real opportunity again to expand membership within that part of the world. And it was great that we had so many of the trade boards, and our thanks to Teresa, who's here, who hosted the conference, and it's great that she can join us here for this week as well. And it was a fantastic conference for everybody. And these were some of the topics that we looked at. And again, I think you'll notice some amazing similarities. IACA, open data, sharing best practice, the survey, beneficial ownership, looking at new developments. Again, these are common issues to registers right the way across the world, and it's about how we come together and share those ideas and learn from each other. And as I said in Rio, every single registry I've spoken to, I've learned something from. Hopefully they've learned something from us as well. No matter where you are, what you're doing, what the challenges you face, we can always learn from each other. It was also the first time, it's great that we've got all 4 organizations represented here. In Rio, it was the first time that all 4 organizations were together. We had the presidents from each one, and presidents-elect, because Mike was president-elect. So Vito was there, Luis Martin from ASORLAC, and then Jenny and Mike from IACA with myself. And that was a great opportunity to really just talk more about how we may link these great organizations together and help serve the business registry community right the way across the world. And it's not all work. There's a little bit of play as well. And I think what I'd like to particularly note is that your leader this week, Vito, who's done a fantastic job leading this conference, very much led us on the dance floor in Rio. It was a night to remember. He worked very hard. It was a difficult job, but he rose to the task, and it was a fantastic night in the oldest football club in Rio de Janeiro. So there'll be a focus on football in Brazil. We were fortunate enough while we were there to go to the Maracanã Stadium, where they're going to hold the World Cup final, a truly fantastic stadium. And actually we had an evening gala dinner, just as we had a gala dinner last night in a fantastic setting. This was a fantastic setting in the oldest football club in Rio. So I said, true leadership, not only this week, but in Rio as well from Vito. I'm not quite sure what he was doing with John Murray, but we could have that as a caption competition if you want later. So yeah, it might have been a proposition, but I'm not sure. So again, what's new? Well, again, what's new, but actually it's similar. Just as ECRF were discussing changing their constitution, last year CRF changed its constitution to move away from just being linked a lot more to this annual cycle of conferences, but actually to think more broadly about the role of linking up and joining registries. So we now have a new constitution, a new committee. So my role as president now is separate to running the conference. We have a conference director, and we now have a president who serves for a 2-year term, along with the executive committee. And very much it's around how we link registries up. It's the really important work that Annika's been leading on the benchmarking survey and the support from CRF to see that become truly global and develop even further, and hopefully get to that point of well over 100 jurisdictions taking part, and looking at other ways to share good practice, maybe having topic forums, and other new ideas from that. And looking ahead, next March we're going to Abu Dhabi. Again, first time we've been in the Middle East, so yet another part of the world for CRF to have a conference. It's going to be a fantastic setting. We're having some good discussions with the organising committee there, and it will be, I think, a truly great conference. We're just finalising the dates at the moment. We'll have a meeting probably later this month where we'll have the final dates, and we'll get those out to people. But everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome to join CRF if they wish, but also especially to come to the conference and, I said, join with fellow business registries from right the way across the world, and I'm sure we can all learn from each other. So thank you very much.
Thank you, team. Thank you for the photos. Martin, please.
Okay, thank you, Vito. Good morning, everyone. Dear colleagues, a special greeting to our host, Vito. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to share our experience as registrars. We are very happy to being here, part of the ECRF conference. Thanks again. My name is Martin Salcedo. I am the Vice President of the Registry in the Bogotá Chamber of Commerce, the biggest commercial registry in Colombia. Today I'm here to present the Association of Latin American and the Caribbean Registrars, ASORLAC. ASORLAC is a non-profit association pursuing to promote regional integration of business registrars of Latin American and the Caribbean. As a result, it propends to strengthen competitiveness in the business sector. The Bogotá Chamber of Commerce is a founding member of ASORLAC, along with the Suriname Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Furthermore, than a business register, the Bogotá Chamber of Commerce aims to redefine its institutional focus and higher purpose with the intent of building sustainable city and region in the long term to promote the increase of prosperity of inhabitants from the following fronts. First, the public registries. Second one, solution of controversy. Third, business services and governance. As the legal representative and technical secretary of ASORLAC, the Bogotá Chamber of Commerce undertakes the task to internationalize its objectives by strengthening the connections among Latin America and the Caribbean registers. The association has two goals. First of all, the objectives are to promote and facilitate the exchange of information of its members' registry system by fostering collaborations, cooperations, and discussion between them, in particular on topics related to the administration of business registers. Also, ASORLAC seeks to identify and overcome issues or problems that could prevent the efficient and effective management of records related to business registry. Last but not least, ASORLAC promotes alliance of cooperation agreements with other international organizations in the management of business registers, as we are doing in order to sign a letter between CRF, ECRF, and IACA. We have identified also ASORLAC benefits as follows. Firstly, to access information on regional and international best practices in records administration posted in our site. ASORLAC propends to be a common place to hold discussions and share experience in public records administration, especially regarding business registry. Members take part in regional integration and improve the competitiveness of the business sector in Latin America and the Caribbean. Also, members may propose programs and activities to generate synergies between ASORLAC members to improve public records administration system in Latin America and the Caribbean. Finally, members are part of the ASORLAC annual conference, where knowledge sharing is our main goal. This year, in October, we will discuss about how to guarantee quality, availability, and sharing data. In regards to our structures, the association is construed as an independent legal person and has its own organs and administrations. There is a general meeting where the General Assembly meets, an auditor, an executive committee with a chair and the technical secretary. Finally, we are looking forward to get more countries to join ASORLAC. Peru, Uruguay, and Dominica. I signed to get the board, and we have signed cooperation agreement with Honduras. This is our new association. It's a little association, but it's increasing and it's getting bigger. So that's why we are here. And again, thank you for the attention. This is a project that really has all our compromise. We work every day to make it really, and they follow other association of registrars to close the example of ECRF, CRF, and IACA, who are our greatest mentors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin, and we all wish you success with this new organization.